For Frank Plazik from Kingston, her younger brother of Joe the Jet. In the 2, Harvey Hayner. We'll run this field down for you, and we'll try and get it set. Don McGinnis in the number 20 car out of Ransonville, New York. Back here at the Speedway, ready to go racing. Harry Sittler out of St. Catharines in the number 37. The 76 of Mark Elsey from Port Robinson. Car number 39 out of Binbrook, Don Turner. In the number 11, Jamie Turner, a second-generation driver, Don's son, in that Plazik number 11 car. Ron Smoker from the hills of South Boston down in New York State, the other side of Buffalo, south of Buffalo, New York. 17 of Rick Zabar, Lee Jerome in the number 57 car.
It's good to see
38
Lee
of Roy Susi out of Ransonville, New York, moving up into the modified ranks this year.
It's good to see Lee Jerome back after a year layoff.
Lee Jerome coming back, a real fine driver. We missed him last year, but he's back here ready to go racing.
Watch Joe Plazak when they drop the green.
Cars bunching up right now in turn number 3 into the number 4 corner, nose to tail coming off turn 4. Green flag is out here. They come down the front chute with the number 1 of Plazik. Plazik out in front, your leader. Joe Plazik takes the lead off turn 2 down the back chute. It's Pete Bicknell running in the number 2 spot. Bicknell, car number 42, trying to reel in our leader, Joe Plazik. 1 lap completed down the front straight.
Joe Plazik's got all kind of power in that car tonight. He can pull coming off the turns.
Brand new Olsen Eagle chassis underneath the number 1 of Joe Plazik out of Caister Center. He's your leader off turn 4 down the front straightaway with Pete Bicknell trying to catch up. In the number 42, Brian Stevens in the 44, sitting back there in 3rd spot, running 4th. That's the number 16 of Jim Bigelow, and in 5th place, Harvey Hayner in the number 2. Don McGinnis, car number 20, making a move on the inside of Frank Plazik, car number 4. He wants to get up in that top 5.
We got some pretty stiff bumps up in the top of the 4th turn. If somebody gets a little high, they get bumping pretty good.
Don McGinnis in that Rudolph chassis car underneath the number 2 of Harvey Hayner, and McGinnis has moved up into 5th spot.
Keep an eye on Mark Elsey. He'll be up in those bumps. No, not too bad that time.
Out in front, still the number 1, Joe Plazik. He's your leader off the number 4 corner, being chased by Pete Bicknell in the number 42. And up there in turn number 4, the 444, Brian Stevens slowing down. Caution comes out. Stevens has it back going again, but he slowed down considerably in between turns 3 and 4. So apparently some problems with the 444 of Brian Stevens as he came into turn number 3. The car slowed down quite a bit, and he finally got it refired, but not until he had lost a lot of room out there on the track. Remember, Brian Stevens changed an engine from the qualifying heat to feature time. And maybe not all was well with the 444. White flag being shown the field. White flag meaning 1 more lap to go, and we'll get underway next time around. Joe Plazik out in front. He's been your leader since lap number 1.
I noticed Luke Plant in the yellow number 1 from Quebec seems to be a little bit better in the 4th turn, but he still carries it too high. They carry too much speed going into that 4th turn. They can't keep it down low.
Luke Plant out of Quebec, and boy, I'll tell you, you're absolutely right. I was having my eye on him. That long sweeping turn, like we were talking earlier, from the number 2 turn all the way around, it sure does throw you off if you're not used to it. Green is out, and we're underway with the number 1 of Joe Plazik taking command once again. So Plazik out in front, but look who's moved up into 3rd, the number 20 of Don McGinnis, former Rudolph chassis car, the car that Charlie Rudolph took the Mr. Dirt title, has moved up into 3rd place. So Don McGinnis on the move, and he'll be pulling up on the back bumper of Pete Bicknell in that number 42. Joe Plazik in command, running very well. Brand new 1988 Olsen Eagle chassis car out of Caister Center. Out in front, your leader, followed by Pete Bicknell, car number 42, running 2nd. In 3rd place is the 20 of Don McGinnis. In 4th place, Jim Bigelow now has made a move. Jim Bigelow, car number 16, has pulled up quickly into 4th. And in 5th place, it's Harvey Hayner in the number 2.
Scott Wood shows a little damage on the right side of that car. Must have got in with somebody. He's
Joe
really
Plazic
tight
down
with
the
Lee
front
Jerome
straightaway.
and Bruce Parks in the back chute now.
Working on lap number 9 as Plazic takes it down the back chute into turn 3, being chased by Pete Bicknell into number 42. Don McGinnis holding on to 3rd with Jim Bigelow running 4th.
Plazic's displaying a lot of power coming out from underneath the hood of that Olsen Eagle tonight.
Number 1 car of Joe Plazic showing an awful lot of power out there as he goes down the straightaways, comes through the turns. Pete Bicknell pulls up on the back bumper, but the number 1 of Plazic seems to be able to pull down the straightaway just a little bit quicker. Lots of action here at the Merrittville Speedway on opening night. Our modified feature is the number 11 as Jamie Turner pulling to the infield. Jamie Turner in the number 11 has pulled off the track, so that'll be a night for him. His first night in the modified ranks, and he is pulled to the infield. Mechanical problems, sign line, the number 11 out of Binbrook. In the meantime, we've got our leader, Joe Plazic, pulling up on slower cars. Plazic in the number 1 car on the back of the pack now. He'll have to thread his way through traffic as cars are bunched up across the track. Bicknell looking for some room as Plazic gets bottled up with a slower car going through turn number 1. Plazic on the outside trying to go around, and there goes Bicknell. Pete Bicknell took the inside line as Joe Plazic got held up by a lap car.
Joe Plazic, I wouldn't cut him out yet though. He's got a lot of power in that car. 16 laps in, still early in the race. Although Peter's stretching his lead out a little bit now as he goes through traffic. Joe gets a clear shot now. He's got a clear run at Pete Bicknell, who's running up front right now in 17th lap. Don McGinnis is having a hard time now trying to get around Bruce Parks with Scott Wood running a little bit high.
Well, it just shows the difference, Dave, on some of these slower cars. If you get bottled up behind one, it can sure cost you. And right now, it's cost the number 1 of Joe Plazic as Bicknell out in front with a good lead. Plazic's going to try and gain it back now as Bicknell is pulling up on some slower cars once again. And there goes the lights once more down the front straightaway.
Okay, we're going to take a break here. We'll be back in just a minute.
This is a Maclean Hunter Cable TV sports presentation.
Bicknell, car number 42, out in front. Plazic running 2nd, McGinnis 3rd, Bigelow 4th, and in 5th place to 2 of Harvey Hayner. That's the way the top 5 cars are running at this point. Pete Bicknell trying to preserve this win, the defending modified points champion here at Merrittville Speedway, trying to win tonight. And the yellow comes out as we've got a car sitting off in between turns number 1 and 2. So once again, yellow flag fever here at Merrittville Speedway on opening night. That'll slow the cars down and we'll have a restart. But in the meantime,
caught an eye for a while there watching Rick Zabor in the number 17, currently running in 6th place. He's doing a whale of a job tonight. He's got that car really up with some of the front runners tonight.
Yeah, he's running real well, and Rick, of course, has been around a number of years and, you know, really plugging away at this modified division, and it looks like this might be a good year for him if there's any indication here tonight, because he's doing very well with the number 17 car.
Yeah, he's holding right in there real well. I like that paint job on Harvey Hayner's new car with a big tire mark in the back. It's very distinctive and stands out all the way around the track.
Can't miss it, right?
That's it. It's a big improvement from the black from last year. Although black is nice at times, on a race car at night in the dirt, it's kind of hard to see. Shows up good for his sponsor, St. Catherine's Tire, too.
Yeah. Well, still a number of cars left out there, and a good field of cars here tonight, and we haven't lost really that many to attrition, but we have lost a few cars, but all in all, everyone holding together very well for opening night. Pete Bicknell out in front. He's your leader with 20 laps completed, 15 more laps to go in this scheduled 35-lap event. Joe Plazik running second. He was your early leader. He led from lap number 1 through lap number 16 when Bicknell took over, as Plazik got caught behind a lapped car. Slower traffic sometimes happens, and it happened to Plazik tonight, and it gave Pete the opportunity to slide underneath and go into the lead. Don McGinnis running a very strong race here tonight in that Rudolph chassis car. Don out of Ransomville, New York. Not unfamiliar to all the fans here at Merrittville Speedway. He has run here on many occasions, and apparently plans to make this his Saturday night home track, so we're glad to see Don back with us running on a regular basis here at the Merrittville Speedway. Very tough competitor, very likable driver. Has quite a few fans in the area, and he was sadly missed, so it's nice to have him back, shall we say, in the fold and going with us.
It's good to see him in his old color scheme, the blue and white, with the way he's got it laid out in that car is the way he used to lay one of his late models out, I believe, wasn't it?
Yeah, Don has run for a number of drivers since moving into the modified ranks, a number of car owners, I should say, and now he's back on his own, running independently and doing a fine job. Well, we're under green once again, and here we go, winding it down with 15 laps to go, and then the chase is on with Pete Bicknell out in front and the rest of the field trying to track him down.
Brian Stevens is really working hard, moving the 444 up through the pack. After dropping out with what looked like motor problem, they did some work. He's really coming up strong now.
Well, Brian having all the problems he could possibly have here tonight, blowing an engine, changing in between the heat race and the feature, but he's back on the track and trying to work his way up into the field and get back into contention. I don't know officially how it works on the scorer sheets, whether he missed a lap or not, or whether he's still on the lead lap with the leaders, but that'll all work out at the end of the race. But he is running very strong now and working up through the field as he has pulled up on the rear end of the 17 Rick Zabor machine.
If he takes off with a point championship this year, you'll remember tonight as the night he probably did it. Stay out there and you run for points, and he's really running.
42, Pete Bicknell out in front, your leader, with the number 1 of Joe Plazik running second. In third place, the 20 of Don McGinnis. Fourth, the 16 of Jim Bigelow. And in fifth place, car number 2, Harvey Hayner. And we're in lap number 25, just 10 more laps to go. So it'll be like a heat race from this point on. 10-lap dash to the checkered flag. Susie in the number 38 having some handling problems, and it looks like he'll head back into the pit area. He's limping around up there in the number 1 corner, the 38 of Susie, his first year in the modifieds, one of the rookie drivers.
Frank Plazik with a
looks like
flat right rear also.
Tire go flat.
Got a caution out for Roy Susie. Talked to him tonight, and he said that they had just a basic 454 big block in that car for the beginning of the season, so they get the feel on driving with these big block modifieds. And as he progresses up later in the year, he'll be putting in a grenade motor, as we like to call them.
Well, the caution comes out once again with 28 laps completed, and the standing in the top 5 at least have not changed any. Still Pete Bicknell out in front, your leader, with Joe Plazik running second, Don McGinnis third, fourth Jim Bigelow, and in fifth place it's the 2H of Harvey Hayner. Opening night here at Merrittville Speedway, 1988 edition, and boy, I'll tell you, 37 years of racing here at Merrittville Speedway. Just a tremendous amount of racing has gone on, a number of names out of the past, and you still see a lot of the drivers from the past coming here as spectators week after week. And I don't know, you sort of get it in your blood, you don't want to give it up, but just a tremendous amount of fine racing has taken place over the years here at Merrittville Speedway, and this year I'm sure will be no exception, because the new drivers are coming in and they're holding their own. Some of the so-called young lions have come on the scene in the past 3 or 4 years, made a name for themselves, and they really charge. I mean, they're going all the time, and it puts on some very fine entertainment. So any of the folks that haven't had an opportunity to get out here to the Speedway in a few years, I know some people were diehard race fans for many years, and then they sort of drifted away from the sport. The sport is still growing, and it's growing by leaps and bounds, and many improvements have been made here to the Speedway. And boy, I tell you, if you get the opportunity on a nice summer evening, come out here and spend the night with us at Merrittville Speedway.
Well, looks like all that work that Brian Stevens put in the car just went up in smoke real quick. He blew a lot of white smoke out of the car.
Yeah, you could hear that big sigh come from the crowd. He did a lot of work and tried his best to get back up in there, but apparently things didn't work out for him, and he's headed into the pit area, and I'm afraid his racing will be over for the evening.
Yeah, he pulled straight into the pit, so yeah, it's probably done for the night.
Well, the rest of the field out there waiting for the track to get cleared. As soon as we got it cleared off, we'll be ready to get back racing.
Talk about a lot of these young lions. If you go over in the pits after the races and hang around the cars for a while, usually behind each young lion there's an old veteran giving them some advice, the old mentor.
Absolutely.
And they stay in the sport. I'll tell you, that's one of the nicest things about this sport, is once you make a friend, you have them for life.
Not only in the pits, I'll tell you, over the years, you know, as being an invading Yankee, as they say, all my friends here in the area and around Merrittville Speedway, of the years when I was a competitor here at the track, and then, of course, working here as the track announcer, boy, I've met a lot of the fans that just super people, and I cherish all the friends that I've made through auto racing. Well, there's the green flag, and we're underway once again. Down the front straightaway comes Pete Bicknell, car number 42, and he's your leader. Looking to get the win here tonight on opening night at Merrittville Speedway, 1988. Bicknell out in front. Joe Plazik has different things in mind. He'd like to catch up and pass the leader. He led early in the race, but right now he's in the runner-up spot, but it looks like he's closing them up just a little bit. Joe Plazik hanging onto the back bumper of the 42, Pete Bicknell, going through turns 1 and 2. Now Pete Bicknell tries to stretch it out a little bit, coming off 4, but there's Plazik, the ever-present number 1, right there behind him.
Jimmy Bigelow's trying to put an inside wheel inside of Don McGinnis coming out of the 4th turn. He squeaked by once during the feature, or during his heat rather. Let's see if he can do it during the feature again.
We're down to 5 laps as they come down the front straightaway, this time by. 5 laps remaining. 4 laps remaining now as we're in lap number 31. And Pete Bicknell holding off Joe Plazik, looking for his first feature win of the season. Car number 42 sets it off turn 4, gets the white flag, 1 more lap to go. This is Plazik's last trip around and his last chance to overtake the leader. Keep your eye on those first two running cars, but it looks like Bicknell will be able to hold on and a lap car up in front, and there's no room underneath, so Bicknell comes off turn 4, going down for the checkered flag. Here comes Plazik, but just at the wire, it's the 42 of Pete Bicknell.
Boy, for a long, cold night, that was sure a fine finish. It was really close. Joe Plazik displayed a lot of power early on with that number 1 Doherty sponsored modified, but old Pete Bicknell knows his way around here and showed Joe the short way back to the checkers.
Well, Pete Bicknell pulling up in victory lane on the front straightaway. He'll get the accolades for tonight, but it's a long summer as this is opening night here at Merrittville Speedway for 1988. And as we look across, we see the crew coming from the far side of the track. Bicknell's crew coming over to help in the congratulations.
Swimming over to say hi to their driver.
But all in all, Dave, a very fine race here tonight. I hope all the fans enjoyed it, and there's lots more to come all summer long. Action right here at Merrittville Speedway.
You know, Gordy, this is the first time I can remember any side of the border that local automobile racing is going to be on weekly. And that goes back to the years when Civic Stadium was in its heyday.
In Buffalo, absolutely.
Yeah. They
Well,
used to televise the races then.
Yeah, it's a real fine way to showcase the sport, and the sport, of course, growing more and more week after week. And there's Big Nell. He'll climb out of the car, and I'm sure all the fans will be greeting him. Defending modified points champion from 1987, coming back to defend that championship, and starting off in the right manner by winning the feature here tonight. He took over on lap number 16 and held off early leader Joe Plazik for the win. But I'm sure we haven't heard the last of Mr. Plazik either. He showed a lot of power here tonight.
Yeah, Joe thought for sure Joe would have had it tonight, but Pete just outdid him a little bit, caught him in traffic, and showed him how to drive around traffic. Some of the other strong runners, Don McGinnis was very impressive first night out in this car that he owns, the former Rudolph car. Jimmy Bigelow put on a good show also. Track manager Doug Kerr down with Pete Bicknell posing for the pictures, making it official.
Well, it's official, all right, with that smile on Pete Bicknell's face, but the big win here tonight. So Pete Bicknell on his way to defend the championship in the modified division here at Merrittville Speedway. Well, Dave, that's just about going to wrap it up here tonight. Good racing in all divisions, and we look forward to Saturday nights here at Merrittville all summer long. Looks like, as we've been talking all night, the sportsman division will be a division to keep your eye on. More and more amateur cars will be coming out as weeks go on, and more bomber cars. But a good turnout for opening night. I don't remember an opening night in quite some time that this many cars have showed up. The pits were really quite full. So for an opening night, really great. And I know all the fans that were here tonight, although it was a little on the chilly side, enjoyed themselves thoroughly, and look forward to the summer of 1988.
Well, we got a lot of racing left in the end for the rest of the year, so if you have an opportunity, you're sitting at home watching this on television, look up the schedule. Next Saturday night, we're going to be right here at Merrittville with another fine car of racing on this Canadian clay track.
Well, for Dave Burlingame, this is Gordy Wilson. Hope to see you back here at Merrittville Speedway Saturday night, the place to be.